That is a song by Shakira, a Latin American dancing and singing sensation. But the dancer there was a Persian girl in Iran, a teenager named Mada Hojabari. If I'm pronouncing her name correctly, she's a bit of a star on Instagram. It would be unremarkable in America, where thousands, 100 millions of young girls take selfies, and in this case, a little dancing selfie video. But in Iran, that's against the law, and Mada has been arrested and forced to make a confession. Joining us now via Skype from Washington, D.C. is an Iranian democracy activist we've spoken to on several occasions, Erica Kasrai. Welcome back to the show, Erica.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for keeping the Iranian people in the news.
Well,
we're grateful.
We're happy to do it because we cover the news. We care about Iranian democracy for Persian people. And what's interesting about this is that young lady there, I mean, she puts a real human face, a teenager dancing and having some fun in her own bedroom, a little bit of belly dancing or whatever. She sings her own songs. So relatable, I think, to people in the West. Tell me what happened, if I'm pronouncing her name right, to Mada. What did the government do to her?
Well, unfortunately, this is how the Islamic justice system deals with the youth. Well, with anyone who, goes against Islamic law, a Sharia law. So let me start by saying that the youth are online, and this is the only place where they're able to be self-expressive. Instagram and Telegram are two of the major platforms that young Iranians are using today to communicate with each other and to communicate with the outside world. Because as you know, in the streets, they have to be covered. Women have to be covered. Their hair has to be covered. Their body has to be covered. So Mada is an Instagram, I guess you can say, kind of star. She is a gymnast and a dancer, and she used a software called Musical.ly to dance and make videos of herself dancing in her bedroom. To be self-expressive, and the regime has been cracking down on, young people who seem to be getting a lot of traction and have a lot of followers. If you go to her IG page, she has almost, I think it's 600,000 followers. So they arrested her and they forced her into a confession. I don't know if you have a clip of that.
Yeah, I think we do. It's in Persian, but she basically is forced to self-denounce. Let's see if we can play that in the background while you.
Essentially, what she's saying.
Yeah, what is she saying, Erica?
Essentially, what she's saying is that some musicians gave us money so that we would dance. We would dance and to promote their songs. We would dance. Actually, she was arrested along with two other young ladies who created these Musical.ly videos. And they wanted us to promote their songs and their videos by dancing to them.
I mean, in the West, that's completely normal. That's what gets me about this, Erica. I don't think this young girl, she's just a teenager, I don't think she said a political word. I don't think. I mean, I went through her Instagram.
Not at all. And not one single political iota of politics was in her videos. This is just a young girl doing what young kids do and expressing the passion of dancing and music. I mean, this is ridiculous. So
in the West, we have this show on HBO called A Handmaid's Tale, and people who wear very restrictive clothing are the symbols of the misogyny of the Republic of Gilead, and that's a real meme in women's rights activism in America. But taking a beautiful young teenage girl who's doing nothing wrong, who's not being obscene, I mean, she shows her tummy in some of her belly dancing videos, that's about it, and arresting her, seizing her, making her do a forced, tearful confession. That is the Handmaid's Tale in real life. Erica, has any leading figure in the West, any leading politician, any leading celebrity, any leading musician stood up for Mada?
No, as a matter of fact, I think that the reason for that is because mainstream media is just not giving enough attention to cases like Mada, because we don't have. I don't think we really have journalists who are able to not only sort of cover the social media platforms and read Farsi, or be able to really understand what's going on. And I think there should be a great shift in that. I mean, I would love to see women's rights activists coming forward and standing up for the women of the Middle East. I mean, frankly, right now, there's been a backlash. You're seeing this great unity among women in Iran, greater unity among women because of cases like Mada and others who've been arrested. I mean, Mada was sentenced to 4 years in prison and 80 lashes for dancing.
Oh, my God. I mean, so it wasn't just the confession, prison and lashes? Oh, my God.
4 years prison sentence and 80 lashes. This is how the Islamic justice system deals.
Was there a reprieve or has the sentence been carried out?
I don't have any information on that. I think the case is still sort of, Oh my
God.
It's pretty unbelievable.
You know what? That's such an outrage. I want to talk about one other young lady, and I'm going to try and pronounce her name right. You correct me if I'm wrong. Shaparak Shazarizadeh. She was a little more political. I don't think she's a teenager. I think we've got an image of her taking off her hijab and waving it around. So this is not a teenager in her bedroom dancing to Shakira songs. This is a young woman on the street holding up her hijab on a stick, showing her hair. Oh my God. Like you can see, she's not obscene in any way. She's just showing her hair, which was lawful in Iran until the Ayatollah's revolution. Tell me what's happened to her. She was grabbed by the religious cops, prosecuted, sentenced, convicted, etc. too. Tell me what happened to Shaparak.
So Shaparak is one of many women who've been arrested for waving their hijab in public because of a campaign called White Wednesdays. And on every Wednesday, a woman will go into the street, remove a white headscarf and wave it in public defiance of forced hijab. As you know, in an Islamic country under Sharia law, a woman is to cover her hair as to not arouse the eyes of a man that is not her husband. And Shaparak was one of the women who was arrested on Revolutionary Street in Tehran for doing that. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison for this act.
20 years in prison. Murderers
20 years
get less. Murderers get
correct.
less.
She was to serve 2 years of that sentence and then be on probation for 18 years. So we do know that Shaparak has left the country before she was arraigned. She's escaped. We don't know exactly of her whereabouts, but she's posted a video online right now that's circulating, basically saying that she's left the country because she feared for her life. Now, mind you, she was arrested with her 2-year-old son when she was arrested. So there's absolutely zero mercy in this regime.
I think I hear we have a copy of her video. I'm not sure what language it is. Let's put that up just for a second.
No, actually, I think we have subtitles for this one.
Okay, let's take a quick look at her video that she posted upon fleeing the country.
سلام. شاپرک شجریزاده هستم، یکی از زنانی که با کمپین چهارشنبه‌های سفید و دختران خیابان انقلاب به حجاب اجباری اعتراض کردم. 3 بار بازداشت شدم و در کاشان متوجه شدم که با پرونده سازی میخوان حکم من رو سنگین کنن و با توجه به اینکه با پسرم بازداشت شدم اصلا احساس امنیت جانی ندارم. از ایران خارج شدم. در حال حاضر وکیلم خانم نسرین ستوده در بازداشت هستش و جدیداً هم شنیدم که برام حکم 20 سال زندان رو بریدم. به خاطر بی‌عدالتی و نابرابری که تو سیستم قضایی ایران بود مجبور شدم که از ایران بیام بیرون.
Unbelievable. And her lawyer was arrested. I mean,
Nasrin Sotoudeh is,
sorry, go ahead.
Nasrin Sotoudeh is a very well-known lawyer who defends the rights of many women. And Nasrin Sotoudeh was arrested because of her willingness to support and to defend the cases of women like Ms. Shahpareh.
Well,
yes.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, there's a lot of groups from Amnesty International, very well known, Reporters Without Borders, PEN International. These are people on sort of the journalistic side. I don't know if Mada, or I don't know if the journalists, but Amnesty would certainly apply. There's other free speech and human rights groups, international women's groups. Can you tell me if any of these NGOs have said anything in public? Because I feel like these cases are so egregious. Are there any allies in the West?
I know that Amnesty has, and I believe Human Rights Watch has, but I'm not aware of any other NGOs right now that have made any public statements. Unfortunately, it's very hard to confirm, the facts, because obviously, as you know, there's no free speech. There's no credible journalism inside the country. So a lot of the information that's coming out is coming out through social media. And, sources that are inside the country that are not, actual reporters.
Let me ask you one last question, and I don't want to be partisan because this is a nonpartisan issue, whether you're on the left or on the right, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, a conservative or a liberal. We can all stand behind the Democratic activists, and I'm sure they're on the spectrum too, from socialist to conservative too. But let me ask about Donald Trump, not because he's a Republican, but because he's the president of the United States. And he has criticized Iran in various ways, including on the nuclear deal. Do you see any indication that under Donald Trump, the United States is more seized with the issue of democracy and this democratic rebellion in Iran? Has there been any activity from the State Department that would give you hope?
Well, let me say this again. I know I've said this to you before on your show. The people of Iran love Donald Trump. I mean, I have been watching, Iran for almost a decade, and, profiling these various social media websites. I think that a lot of the empowerment and the activities, the protest movements that you're seeing today is an actual direct result of the words of Donald Trump supporting and empowering the Iranian people.
I'm startled to hear that. Why? Help me understand.
Well, there's a hashtag storm. We love you, Donald Trump. We love you, Trump. Thank you, Mr. Trump, because they see him as the first president that's been able to stand up to this regime, that he's not backing down. And so, it's not propaganda. For sure, it's not propaganda. I can tell you that the people of Iran are looking to the United States as the beacon of freedom to pave the way. And I know that the policy of the United States right now is not for regime change, but I know that because of the words of Secretary Pompeo and Donald Trump, whether it's their tweeting, whether it's their interviews, they're not addressing the regime; they're addressing the people and encouraging and empowering them. And I would say that I would caution any policymaker, that wants to take a particular position. But I think that when you are speaking directly to the Iranian people, encouraging them, that speaks louder than words.
Well, that's amazing. I had no idea that was going on a grassroots basis. And it gives me a flicker of hope. And I hope that the cases especially of Mada, who is such an innocent young girl who has nothing to do with politics, to be arrested, tried, convicted, sentenced for dancing, forced to make a tearful televised apology. I find that so shocking. And if there's any genuine, authentic love for freedom and human rights in the expressive communities in Hollywood, in New York, in London, I hope that pricks them to action. And we'll do our small part and spread the word about this. Erica, it's a pleasure to talk with you. I hope that we can talk again soon.
Thank you, Ezra. I appreciate you having on your show again. I just want to remind everyone who's listening and watching to take your freedom very seriously. There are people living in the world that wish they could live in your shoes. So especially women women who just don't have any idea what a privilege it is to live in a free and a democratic society.
Well said, and I wish every woman in the West would take that to heart, and I'm so grateful that you are fighting for the women of Iran and other places. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, that's Erica Kasrei, an Iran democracy activist who joined us via Skype from Washington, D.C. Very interesting, very troubling stories, but also a glimmer of hope behind it all. That's an excerpt from my daily TV show, The Ezra Levant Show. Normally it's behind a paywall, but I thought you'd like this video, so we put it on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to watch the daily show every day, including always 2 interviews a day, and I read my hate mail, just click on this screen and become a premium member.